or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world watching this right now. Probably a tad hopeful of me saying that, considering I uploaded a grand total of 10 YouTube videos and then left, and I'm now talking to you as if I left some sort of legacy behind. Hi everyone, is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm back. I've been away from the tube for about 8 months now. It's the comeback tour, it's the encore moment. I have birthed a child since you last saw me, hence why I've taken some time off, because I've been pretty occupied. But I now feel I have sort of found my feet a bit. I sort of know where I'm at what times on what days, so I can kind of sort of plan structure to my day a little bit more and plan when I can start filming videos. So I thought, what better opportunity than to bring you along with me when I'm doing my makeup this morning. So yeah, if you want to see how I got the world's most difficult advanced level makeup to follow, then keep watching. But I must warn you, it's very difficult. I mean, this is, you know, sheer talent to create a face so artistic as a bit of foundation and mascara. No, but seriously, this is how I'm doing my makeup every day at the moment. So it'd be silly for me to sort of show you anything else, because this is my day-to-day life. So if you want to listen to what I've been up to in the last 8 months, or maybe you're just doing the washing up or cleaning and you need a bit of background noise, I don't particularly have the most soothing voice known to man, but I could definitely help you out with filling a gap. Morning. Sorry about the horrendous lighting. I'm actually in my kitchen and it is only 7:15. Hudson's been awake since 4:15, so I've managed to just get him back down. So I'm thinking he's probably gonna wake up at around 8:30. That gives me about an hour and a half to do my makeup. I don't normally do my makeup this early in the morning, but he doesn't normally wake up at 4 o'clock every morning, so we've just had to sort of go with it today. And I don't know if I'm speaking a little bit quieter. Sleeping like an angel on his monitor. I don't know if I'm speaking a bit quieter as well, because I obviously don't want to wake him. So I've brought my makeup downstairs to do, so he doesn't hear me upstairs. Before I start, I'm going to just talk you through some of the products that I'm using, because I know what I'm like. I talk and talk and talk so much that I end up forgetting to tell you what products I'm using. At the end, it's a bit like, so what was that? So for my face, first I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. For foundation, I'm going in with the IT Cosmetics CC Cream Your Skin But Better. I absolutely love this stuff. And concealer, I'm actually using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I bought this in 2 shades too light for me by accident, so I normally use this as a concealer now. So the last time you saw me, well, the last time the world of YouTube saw me was, I think I was about 38 weeks pregnant. I was about to go to my midwife appointment because the baby was breached, and I basically needed to see if the baby was still breached and if I would have to have a planned C-section or not. And that is indeed what happened. I was booked in pretty much at that appointment for my C-section. So I sort of knew about 2 weeks in advance that I would be definitely having a C-section. I'm going to do a whole video on my C-section experience, mainly because before I had my C-section, all I'd done was sit on YouTube the night before and watch YouTube videos on what I could expect. And it actually made me feel much more relaxed going into it. And I actually had a really positive experience, especially when I first found out. I sort of put it on my Instagram that I was going to be having a C-section. And so many people were like, no, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I was like, what, why? Is it really, really bad? And it definitely wasn't as bad as what I was sort of led to believe. So I definitely want to do a video on my experience, because I think, you know, I don't want people to be scared going into that situation. So I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, so I won't really mention the birth today. But yeah, I had my C-section and we had a beautiful baby boy. He weighed 8 pounds 7 ounces and we named him Hudson. Hudson wasn't in my top 3 boy names. I think if you watched my last video, you would have seen that names was probably one of my biggest things I worried about, because me and Danny just could not agree on a name. Hudson was Danny's #1 name, and I really liked the name Brady, and so we both like the whole American theme names. And the night before, I said to Danny, we need to decide on a name, because if this baby comes out and they go, what you gonna, you know, what is the name? I'm not gonna know what to say, and I'm not leaving hospital without a name for my baby. So we had a long, hard chat and compromise. When I say compromise, I mean Danny agreed that we should call him Brady. Funny, because I sort of went in to my C-section thinking, well, if it's a boy, we're gonna call him Brady, and if it's a girl, we'll call her whatever, because we had another list of names for girls. And then when I saw him, so obviously I'm in this, laying down in the theatre, and there's like a screen over me, and they sort of lift him over the screen, and they're like, it's a boy. And the moment I laid eyes on him, I looked at him and I was like, huh, so not a Brady. Like it's really weird, because essentially newborn babies look the same. Like they don't really have much features when they're newborn, because they're very swollen, and they're all like their eyes are all shut, and they just look like what's going on. So it's weird to say that they look like a name, but honestly, the moment I saw him, I was just like, your name is Hudson. Funny, because me and Danny obviously both agreed Brady, and then the midwife or the nurse turned to us and she was like, so what are we calling him? And we both just sort of looked at each other. We're like, I'm not sure yet. And it was weird, we both just felt like it wasn't Brady. Because could you imagine if I was like, we're gonna be calling Brady? Danny would be like, oh, well, should we have a think about that? It was obviously meant to be, we both wanted the name Hudson, and the name Hudson has a bit more of a sentimental meaning to us as well, because our favourite place in the entire world is New York, and of course the Hudson River runs through Manhattan, and so it just like means so much. So we definitely felt like we picked the right name. I guess I should update you on my life in the last almost 8 months. He'll be 8 months next week. Where has that time gone? I've actually filmed my comeback vid, this exact video, about 4 or 5 times now. The first time I tried to film it, he was 3 weeks old, and then the second time I tried to film it, he was 6 weeks old, then again at 4 months, and then again at 5 months, and then I ended up just giving up. It's weird. I've sort of been going backward and forward whether I should sort of come back on YouTube or not. Not that I ever left a legacy behind. I've done like 10 videos. Become a mum, everything just feels so much more sensitive, and you feel much more vulnerable. And so I just was a bit like, oh, like, do I do it? Even though I love, you know, creating content and, you know, doing YouTube, I really, really like genuinely enjoy it. More of a case of, I didn't know if I wanted to show Hudson, maybe because I don't want to be like a mum channel. I feel like there is, you know, I am still my own person as well, as well as Hudson's mum. So I didn't know if I wanted to go down that avenue of being like a mum channel. But also I didn't know if I wanted to sort of show him on YouTube, because there are freaks on the internet where if you show your baby or, you know, film your baby or whatever, people like feel obliged to write under your videos or pictures like critiques about people's children. It's so fucking weird. I was on Instagram the other day, and I think it was Mrs. Hinch's story. She put something like, you know, all the trolls out there who, you know, criticise my children, you know, you make me feel really low. So I can't remember what it was. It was basically indicating that people are horrible about their kids. And I actually thought, oh my God, like, who are these sad people on the internet that are cruel to children or about children online? Like, so I obviously then felt extremely protective over Hudson, as I, you know, have done since the moment I laid eyes on him. And that just made me feel like he's not up for scrutiny, in my, you know, opinion. He's not up for anyone else to discuss. He is my absolute everything. And I just felt like do you know what, I'll just keep that completely separate. I will obviously show little bits of him, but it'll probably be in more like vlogs where it's like a minute here, a minute there. And also when he's awake, my entire sole attention is on him. I wouldn't be able to crack a camera out and start doing my makeup like this, or, you know, start doing some sort of video, because my whole attention is on him. So it just works out better that I sort of plan it around his naps, really. With bronzer, just using this as a contour stick. This is the Benefit, I think it's called Hello Happy Foundation. There you go, you can see it now. It's actually really dark. Like I said, use this to contour. I wouldn't use this as a foundation, and I use it really lightly as well. So this is the contour I'll be using, and then I'll be going in with the Makeup by Mario blush. Oh, hang on. Mario blush as well. I'm really liking cream products at the moment. I just find they can blend so easy and they look really natural. And if you haven't noticed, I am going for like a more natural vibe. What are you thinking? I've had my eyelash extensions taken off, or when I say taken off, I may or may not have picked them off. This was back in November. And I've been using a lash serum ever since, and my lashes have got really long. You'll see when I put mascara on. And also I've had my hair lightened. So we've gone for the whole balayage thing where I've kept my root really dark, which my natural root is very dark anyway. And then we've lightened the ends, and I love it. I am living for it. I feel really a lot more softer. I'm gonna try, if I can, insert a clip here of me when I had much darker hair. And as my fellow ladies that have dark hair know, you have to kind of make an effort every single day, otherwise you look very washed out. So I obviously don't have the time really anymore to be as full glam as I once was, which is fine. Those days will return. And so yeah, I just kind of felt like the black was washing me out a bit. So this is kind of like a nice new sort of chapter for me at the moment. Motherhood. I mean, first things first, let's just have it right. It is the best thing ever. You know, it's one of them, you sort of, everyone says, you know, there's no right time to have a baby. And that's probably true, there isn't. You will always be tired. You will never come first. You know, you have to put aside any sort of selfish ways that you ever had, because this child is completely and utterly will rule your life. And do you know what? That is absolutely fine by me. I'm just absolutely obsessed with him. He's just beautiful, sweet, funny. I honestly, I have to say, I adore being a mum. I really, really like, the moment I met him, it was just like this instant like protectiveness and this instant love. And I just, honestly, within a week of him being in my life, I struggled to remember what I'd ever done before I had him. That being said, it's very, very hard. I have spent weeks crying, days crying, over essentially nothing as well. Like the listless things make me cry. I'm much more sensitive now, much more sensitive. I could cry much easier. Than obviously I was before I had him. I think obviously the things people warn you about when becoming a parent is mainly the sleep deprivation, and don't get me wrong, that is a thing. It's weird how quickly your body gets used to functioning on the lack of sleep. I can't say I'm tired, but I'm always tired now. It's almost like a level of tired that you can survive on. I always drank coffee anyway, so that's like just continued to be a staple of my life. So that kind of, you almost mentally prepare for that. It's weird. I can't say I'm like, you know, I'm exhausted obviously, but it's not so much the sleep deprivation at night, it's the constant entertaining in the day. Like for example, you know, when he's awake, we are solely, you know, doing whatever, we're playing, we're reading books, we're going to classes, we're singing, dancing, we're on walks together. Like it's mainly the exhaustion of being on it 24/7. Like we don't just sit there, we don't watch telly, we don't like chill out. Like we are always doing something. Even if you're playing with a toy, you can't sit on your phone whilst they're playing with a toy. Like you're singing and what's that then? Can you say this? Can you say that? And so it's actually exhausting being enthusiastic 24/7. With the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer and the NARS Orgasm blusher. And then I will be setting the rest of my face with the Fenty lavender powder. This is what it looks like. It is absolutely amazing. You'll see what I mean when I put it on in a minute. It really just blurs your whole skin out. So what are the biggest struggles I found about being a mum? I would say I found months 4 and 5 the hardest. He was very alert in himself, like he was awake for really long periods of time. And he, I think at that point, could roll over, but he obviously couldn't like play, and he couldn't sit up on his own. So you're sitting there 24/7, like holding them or propping them, showing them toys, but they can't do anything with it, but they don't want to be put down because they're awake and they're, you know, need stimulating. And so that's why I found them months really hard, because they're so dependent on you still, and yet they're trying to be independent, and it's kind of like this weird sort of transition phase, the whole 4-month sleep regression thing. That is a thing. I think they call it regression. I think it's mainly when most babies' teeth start to come through, or they're starting to like move around their gums. Hudson has 2 little front teeth now, it's so cute. But definitely at 4 months, I noticed a huge change in him. He went off all of his milk. I'm actually going to do a whole nother video on formula for babies, because I had a really hard time picking a formula that Hudson liked. So we went through months of him refusing bottles, dropping centiles, everything, and it was just so hard, because as a mum you feel so guilty that you don't know what your baby wants. So I'm going to do a whole separate video on that. But yeah, 4 months he just went off all his milk. I took him to the doctor and I was like, oh, this must be something wrong. And they were like, probably teething. And I'm like, no, this is a thing. It cannot be teething. And actually, looking back now, I think it was just teething. Okay, for brows, I'm actually, again, trying to be a little bit more natural now. And I've looked back at some old videos and pictures, and I used to draw my brows on quite harsh. So I'm just gonna run it through with a brush, like a, you know, what was it called? One of these things, like a spoolie, I guess, and just comb through my brow hairs with like a colour, because I already have like a shape, as you can see. I had them tattooed years ago, and the shade has still stayed really well in the shape, but I just wanted them to be a little bit more darker. Do you know what? This light is so bad. I bet I go out today and look in like a window and be like, holy shit. And favourite months, what's been my favourite month so far with Hudson? Definitely from like the moment he turns 6 months, you see a child, not a baby anymore. He's so interactive. He's trying to talk, he's trying to crawl. You get so much back. You can make them laugh, you can make them smile, you can point at things and they kind of know what you're talking about. So you basically, all that hard work you put in for 6 months of singing, dancing, reading, like all that hard work pays off, I feel, from the moment they turn 6 months. Suddenly they'll do something, you'll think, oh, yeah, that's right, because I taught you this. And so that has been like a really rewarding time. But to be honest with you, like every single day, you love them more, and it just gets better and better. And to curl my lashes. So like I said, I took my lashes out, and I want to give my eyelashes a bit of a break. And then I started using this lash serum. I'm gonna link it in the description box below. But it has changed my lashes so much. I'll show you now when I put some mascara on. I'm actually gonna get LVLs done this week. So my lashes look really long, because my lashes are naturally quite straight, so it takes a few times of curling them to sort of really see the full effect. Going in with the Bad Girl Bang mascara. Can you see? How amazing is that? I don't think my lashes have ever been this long before, like literally ever. And lash serums are one of them things where I kind of, because they say on like all the boxes you won't see results for like 8 weeks. So I always think, oh, what a waste, I don't have 8 weeks to wait. But literally, it is so true. I started using it on like the 8th of November, something like that. It was right before I went to New York. By the way, I'm going to do a whole other video on traveling with a baby as well, because that is challenging. Yeah, right before I went to New York, I decided to start with my natural lash journey, and yeah, it's now been like, what, 6 weeks, and they look so long already. I don't actually have a before though, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. What you saw in the thumbnail when you would have clicked on this video isn't the makeup look I'm gonna be doing today. That was me in my prime, actually, looking great. That was about a week ago when I was wearing false lashes, everything. But today we are going to a baby massage class, and then maybe do some shopping and then a dog walk. And so, to be honest with you, it's not a day for false lashes now. And like I said, because I have such a small window to get him to sleep and do my makeup, it's gonna take me too long. I'll tell you one thing I have loved is the support you get from like other mums. I was really lucky, I think, because I had so many issues with Hudson and his milk when he was 4 months. I was constantly calling my health visitor for like checkups and, you know, just like clarification that everything was okay. And so because of that, I was obviously in regular contact with her. She put me on a waiting list for loads of free baby classes from when he was around 6 months old plus. No, yeah, about 6 months old, maybe a bit younger. And so for the last like 12 weeks, I've had back-to-back free classes. And I've met so many other mums there that all have babies the same age as Hudson. And that has been so lovely. It's been really nice. And obviously it's like, you know, something to do. Like, you want to get out of the house. I mean, I honestly find it so difficult staying in the house with Hudson. I feel I have to get out of the house. It actually just makes me realise like how amazing mums were in lockdown, because I was lucky enough to have Hudson the day lockdown got lifted this year. And so the fact that you guys done it in lockdown, oh my God, you deserve a medal. Now, the only thing I would say about this mascara is that it always prints on my like eyebrows. Like throughout the day, I'll have to wipe my eyebrows down because it does print. I haven't found a mascara that doesn't do that yet, but I really like this sort of brush. It's like really thin. And I feel it really gets in every single coat. So if anyone has any recommendations on mascara that doesn't print, please let me know. I've tried the Maybelline Sky High mascara, the pink one, but I just find this so much better. So can you see my lashes? How good is that? Not to sound like the lady from Friends. You know that lady that's like, oh my God, can you believe this is my natural scent? I'm not even wearing perfume. And obviously you know who I mean by that amazing character impersonation. But literally, I genuinely cannot believe these are my lashes just from using that serum for like 6 weeks. Now, I always go in between whether I should wear bottom lash mascara or not. I'm not going to today because yesterday when I did, it just all printed down. So I'm kind of going to leave it a bit like this. I'm really sorry that this is the most basic makeup. I always feel a fraud having the audacity to film a video and this kind of being it. But this is what I do every single day. This is a realistic makeup routine that I do. Other than changing my hair, changing my eyelashes and giving birth, I haven't really done anything else in the last 8 months. Like I said, I will be filming more video on more specific topics. I feel kind of like having a baby is such a like wide variety topic. I can't really do a whole video and sit down like, yeah, it's been all right. I need like actual like areas to discuss. Fenty powder. I only tried Fenty for the first time when I bought this in New York a few weeks ago. I've never used any of her products before. And I've got to say, I'm so impressed. Like, they get so many good reviews online, and honestly, the reviews are legit. Like, the products are amazing. So, another thing actually that has been a big change is losing the baby weight. This is a bit of a sensitive subject to some people, so if you are triggered by weight loss or hearing people's like weights or anything like that, please don't watch the rest of this video, because I don't want it to be like a trigger for anyone. And I'm only going to be talking about my weight because that is you know, according to my body, my BMI, my height, everything like that. So you can't take me discussing my weight as what you should be doing, what you should look like, or what you shouldn't look like, or whatever, because everyone is so different. So please just sort of take this for what it is and me just explain to you what I done. But when I fell pregnant with Hudson, I was weighing, I mean, it was lockdown, so already I was, you know, comfort eating a lot. But I weighed around 9 stone. And then right before I had him, I got weighed at the hospital and I was 11.5 stone. So I gained 2.5 stone. Obviously had him, he was just, you know, almost 9 pounds. So I lost that initial weight. And then when he was around 12 weeks old, my best friend, who has also had a baby, which is just amazing, we get to do so much together. She said to me, like, look, we need to lose this baby weight. Shall we join Slimming World together? And I had never joined anything like that before. And I kind of had it in my head, it was going to be a bit like Little Britain, you know, Fat Fighters, where that lady's like, anybody? No, das. So we went and I weighed 10 stone, 10 pounds. And every week, me and her went and got weighed. And yeah, I'm now, so I think by about 6 months, I'd lost almost all of the baby weight. I now weigh around 9 stone 5. So I have like 5 pounds left to lose. But I've now sort of quit Slimming World. I just messaged the sort of sponsor lady that you're assigned and just said, look, I don't really need to come anymore. I'm spending £5 a week to sort of get weighed, but like I'm happy with how I look now. I can easily fluctuate a few pounds here and there. So I've now stopped, but I've got to say I didn't, I can't say I followed the Slimming World recipes or their sort of rules as such, because there are some things that I just don't agree with. Like, for example, there isn't such thing as free food. I can't eat 9 steaks and not count the calories. But yeah, I physically myself feel really good because I lost a baby weight within about 6 months. But what I would say is when I went for my, I think after you have a baby, you have like a 6 to 8 week checkup. By the way, this is my tiny lip liner. It's MAC Strip Down. I've got another one upstairs, but this size is really handy for my makeup bag. So I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna go over with a NARS Orgasm lip balm, and I'm only gonna line the middle of my cupid's bow and the middle of my bottom lip. I learned this tip from Makeup by Mario, where he said basically when you draw down here with your lips, it can make your lips quite droopy like that. So you want that plumping lift effect. So I just go into the top here. When you have a baby, at around 6 to 8 weeks after you have the baby, you have to go to doctors for a checkup. And they basically just check you through to be like, yeah, you're all good to go. For example, I had a C-section, so they had to check my scar, basically make sure like everything wasn't like infected or anything. And then they pretty much sign you off and be like, right, bye, like back to the real world now. You can exercise if you want, you can do whatever. And I remember thinking at 6 weeks that I was not ready at all. I remember thinking, should I be back to how I was now at 6 weeks? Like, seriously, it took me 6 months to feel like me again, like physically. I just did not feel like I looked good at all. I was so, you know, like expecting 6 weeks maybe to be back in all my old clothes. I definitely wasn't. I've got a whole new wardrobe. Honestly, if I can just give any advice, you know, had one child, parenting guru over here, it would be that everything can wait. There is nothing more important that you need to be doing right now other than spending every minute just soaking up every day with your little baby. Cuddle them, kiss them, play with them, because this day will go. Believe me, when everyone says to you time flies, it is so true. I'm just gonna go in with the Patrick Star One Size setting spray. Definitely soak up those like every moment and don't rush. Like I said, I've actually filmed this comeback video 4 or 5 times since he's been born, but it just never felt like the right time. I never wanted to give up my time with him to edit a video, or, you know, I just loved spending every minute with him. There were days where I sat there and my house was such a mess and I just thought, that can wait, because I just wanted to spend every minute with him. So that is the most important thing, and you will never ever regret having a cuddle, having a kiss, for him never falling asleep on you. You'll never regret that. So do things at your pace when you are ready. That is what I would say. We are done. I feel massively like a fraud for allowing you to watch this and think, wow, how did she do her makeup like that? But this is how I do my makeup pretty much every day now. It's obviously very simple, very easy. I will do some more like glamorous looks. I'm actually going to Miami soon for my brother's wedding, and I'll be doing my makeup there, and I'm gonna bring my camera and film probably how I do my makeup for a wedding, because that's probably the next occasion where I'll be able to do my makeup so, you know, glamorous and stuff. So I will try and vlog as much of that as I can as well. But yeah, just what to say, very happy to be back. Thank you for clicking on this video and watching. And yeah, stay tuned for my next video.